Start our theme music.
Yeah, here's the ones I sent to.
Got your character sheets, everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, quarter till 11. Arrived. I'm still waiting.
Well, I'm
Did
waiting.
everybody do their advancements from last session?
Oh, a whole lot of things. Making damn good movies.
Take 4.
We're making good movies. Getting rid of the annoying people. I'm not taking that this time. I am not taking a red one.
Did you move tough?
He always bites me in the ass with those things.
Draw 3.
Well,
Just close your eyes.
I had 4 in my hand. I'm like shaking out the red one. Go away, go away. Yeah, I know he does a whole lot of good things for you, but every time I use that red chip, he bites me in the ass with it, so I end up paying more than I get out of it. I'm not messing with it. Now, see, there's more good for you. Getting rid of evil bastards, making really good Hollywood films,
Commentary stops, please.
boosting technology.
The commentary stops, please, as I'm about to start talking about the game. I chose this as our theme song because not only is it kind of tragic given the after effects of Fallout universe, but I happen to really like Joan Osborne, and I feel she's basically the reincarnation of Janis Joplin, and this song kind of proves it. It's also some for others. So, when last we left, the players had just had a bit of a political brouhaha in the city of Brightwell. You've been flown to Lansing, had spoken to the Lansing AI, had discovered that unlike most AIs, the Lansing AI is still largely sane, and seems to really think humans are neat and will do everything it can to protect them. You're then flown back to Brightwater on the same airship that you arrived on, the Imperial Eagle. Percy got an upgrade body, which Veronica, I'm sure, was very happy about.
He's a sexy beast now.
The flight time between Lansing and Brightwater by that airship is about 2.5 days. So altogether, you're gone for about 3 days. When you land in Brightwater, they hover over the outside of this town and they let you down on guide ropes. And then the airship, without touching the ground, continues to fly off somewhere else. A couple of weeks pass between last adventure and the current session. During those 2 weeks, some things happen. The first thing is, Matthew, is that Bert is kept busy running herd on the town. Nothing serious. Lots of typical cop problems. Domestics, the occasional robbery, petty theft, the occasional brawl. Nobody does anything routinely stupid. The most heinous thing you have happen is that outside the walls, and there's 2 areas that are starting outside Brightwater now, we're going to real quick, called the placards and the stocks. Out in the placards, somebody committed a murder. Connie on Connie. And after a little investigation, discovered essentially one of the Connies caught another Connie sleeping with his wife. Decided to take revenge and try to basically not too intelligently get away with it. And it's fairly easy to catch him. So he's currently in the town clink. During those 2 weeks, the good father manages to get a set schedule of services started. I need to know from you how often the church is meeting. Now, the Novapax Church, being a descendant of both the Catholic and the Protestant churches, does not do Mass every day. They do, I was going to say, probably 3 of them a week. You have your Sunday one, your Saturday one, and you have one probably on Wednesday in the middle of the week. Confession, however, is heard usually daily because someone might always need to confess.
right. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to say you have an associate priest with you now, a guy by the name of Barter. That's his actual name, Barter.
Father? Butter?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, he's on the path to becoming a priest. He's in that initiate type stage.
Okay.
Father Barter.
So actually, we're calling him pastor right
I
now.
know, I'm just saying. Father, that's just going to be a tongue twister name.
But his parents named him Barter.
B-A-R-G-E-R.
B-A-R-T-E-R. Barter.
Veronica's favorite thing.
Yeah. I'll introduce you.
So whenever you're not there, he's the one taking confessions, doing house sitting, stuff like that. The girl from last session, you were worried about, the one that tried to shoot her mama?
Mm-hmm.
She's actually decided to actually become a cowhand.
To what?
Become a cowhand.
Oh.
Between the long periods of basically being on your own and working with animals, when you are working with people, it's somewhat limited and formal. It seems to have helped her a great deal. Which puts her out in the stocks area a lot. During these 2 weeks, Ronnie has, I imagine, probably allocated a stall for her business. What are you calling your company?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
Kind of needs a name. You need a shingle on your top of your stall so people know where to come.
Percy's.
Much as she loves that robot.
I don't think she would name it after the robot. Just saying.
I'm surprised she hasn't made it fully functional yet.
She doesn't love the robot in that manner, man.
Yeah, this isn't New Vegas.
I didn't want to go there in my brain, but I actually did.
Got mayonnaise all over your mustache.
I know.
Let her lick it. She's trying.
Actually, I'm going to get some napkins.
You got to bend lower than that.
Something random. I can't. I'd have to put more thought into it, and I just can't think.
Kind of need these thoughts to happen between games, so I know. For right now, we're just going to call it Rose
I
8.
didn't know that you were going to set her up with a stall before.
You're gonna need a stall to trade in town. So there's gonna be a location here in town. We talked about this actually last week. You're gonna start a business in town. Start a
Veronica's
corporation.
Trade Stop.
Veronica's?
Veronica's Trade Stop.
Veronica's it is.
Hey, when in doubt, go simple.
People start calling it the V. Because
There you
people
go.
are like that. You have an employee now that works for you. His name is Darian.
Okay.
And Darian's job is to be there to take trade when you're not in town. Darian's a minor tinkerer, so he can repair some stuff, he can spot the value. In general, it's been a pretty quiet 2 weeks. During these 2 weeks, Etta has not had any big episodes, although there was one episode in a bar where a guy hit on her.
She didn't kill him, did she?
She didn't kill him, but the scream that she has kind of like half came out. It only hit him. And for like 3 days, he was in the jail of gibbering, and people are talking about that. So now when she walks through the street, people are a little frightened. In the past 2 weeks, Horace Greenlee, the mayor, has... But in the move, somehow I lost all my notes. You're going to see me writing down stuff as fast as I can as I say it.
You still haven't found that, huh?
No, not...
I hate it when that happens.
Horace Greenland, the mayor, has been running a bit of afoul of a couple of the more prominent citizens.
Oh boy. Shocking.
So he's an asshole.
No, because he's actually been telling them what they can and can't do. There was an incident where a wealthier citizen in town, the guy who runs the, not the drugstore,
General store?
the guy who runs the media center. He gets like all the books and the paper stuff like that. He actually had a couple of toughs rough up a couple of people out in the stocks, and Horace basically had a one-on-one with this guy. He didn't sick him at him because Horace knows the guy personally.
Mm-hmm.
They had a few tough words exchanged in the street, which of course everybody saw. It made Horace less popular with the people who have money, but made Horace more popular with people in town. I feel like now he's standing up for them. Not that this has earned him any points with Marisol.
Of course.
Because, you know, Machiavelli says point blank, get the people behind you, screw them.
Marisol actually is putting out news reports that sound like this. Hello, wastelanders and brightwaterers and all those who've been forgotten about in the placards and the stocks. I have agents on the ground, as of course I can't exactly roll myself down the hill, keeping eyes on your well-to-do mayor, who apparently is deciding that Brightwater is going to be his little dispense. And she basically, any minor thing he does wrong, like wore the wrong suit, said the wrong thing, she's right on it.
Oh, for
Okay.
Christ's sake.
She does not report the tete-a-tete she had with the landowner, other than to say Horace Greeley was seen talking with the wealthy in Brightwater Street today. We shouldn't be surprised. Does he have any time for you? Hey, she's on what we would call the left of American politics. You should expect this. But she's largely keeping her word. She's not saying anything, insightful. She's just saying things that in the next election are going to be held against them. You listening to the radio reports determine that she's actually probably paying kids to keep tabs on Horace. She's basically drafted a bunch of reporters. With the town expanding its banners, now only Lonely Radio does sit within town limits, which means her property taxes have gone up. So about every 4 to 5 days you hear a rant, almost libertarian style, about how taxation is theft.
Of course.
However, with the expansion of the town limits also has come more wealth. And the Republic, now having an army base nearby, has put some more money into the local Republic radio station. So now in addition to hearing Marisol on the air all the time, you're hearing, hello out there, all you cats and jacks. Like, smoke if you got them or whatever, don't. This is the therapy couch.
I love the idea of the official government radio station being ran by a pothead.
Well, he's not the only one on the station. That's where his program is broadcasting out of, Republic Radio.
Yeah.
And I'm your, oh yeah, that's right, I'm Sigmund Dude, man.
He's the dude.
So,
Now I'm expecting a guy in khakis and sandals and a long robe.
am I the only one who cares about the rules? No. But that's basically what's going on. So Brightwater's been pretty sleepy. And as it is time to some official things, since we've all got the session out now. If I remember my timeline correctly, it is $22.95. And we are about 1 month away from Christmas.
Oh.
So you've got snow on the ground now. People are driving cattle herds in. That brings me to the two areas that have started to pop up outside of town. To the south and west of town, you have this area that's been called the Placards. The reason it's called that is because a bunch of people have set up some ramshackle businesses. Things like, an actual board over a pair of barrels and, give me 5 caps, here's your beer. Because it's got that kind of rundown ramshackle tent city type look, people just call it the Placards because everyone's business got a placard on it. North and west of the town, you have this area, it's called the Stocks. It's called that because people put a bunch of makeshift pens because what's left of the Brahmin herds for the winter are coming into town now. Not all the normal herdsmen are in town yet. You do notice from what you've seen of the Brahmin look healthy, but there's about 10% less of them than there were last year.
That's better than I expected.
Apparently the Connies and cowpunchers out there have done a good job protecting their herds, but there has been some financial strain.
And yeah, they're having to pay a lot more hands and a lot more guns.
All right, so that's where it all starts. It is the morning of December the 1st, 2295. It is 7 o'clock in the morning, and Veronica is awakened to,
Hello?
Miss Boss, ma'am, it's Darian.
Oh, what's going on, Darian?
Please don't fucking fire me.
What? Opens the door. What's that?
We've been robbed.
Oh, hell. Alright, and how much stock did they take?
All of it.
All of it?
All of it.
How did they take all of it?
They got it all. I don't know. It looks like something literally ripped the door off its hinges.
Well, it's a good thing I know the sheriff.
Hey, don't look for any special favors from me.
Alright, let me go down there and see what the damage is.
So you walk down, and in your stall, you probably had about 10,000 caps worth of stock, right? Because it's a sit-down store, people are trading and coming and going. He's right, everything's gone. The shelves are bare. Something did literally rip the padlocked door off its hinges.
So it had to either be somebody with a robot or a critter or somebody had a power armor suit, all of which would be very obvious.
Or just a chain in a truck.
Oh, true. Or a Brahmin, I guess, maybe. Are there like claw marks?
Why
or
don't you
anything
do
like that?
a science roll
Science.
looking at the... Oh, you don't have
I
science.
have science.
Well, then you're going to be doing your smarts at Neg 2.
Good thing my smarts went up to a D10.
Give me a look at the door and see if you can discover what exactly transpired.
I got an 11, and then minus 2 would be
9.
9.
Find another D12.
Well, you've got no love on the door. The nearest thing you can tell is that the door was actually pried off. You don't see any torch marks. You don't see any signs of like someone using an acetylene torch. You don't see anything that could look like some kind of lever. It looks like somebody literally just grabbed it and ripped it off. And then as you're looking around, you notice in the dirt a single, because there's people passing all night, so all the tracks are muddied up, a single large footprint about this big and that wide.
Can you take a... Well... The
Just one
Pip-Boy
footprint?
probably doesn't have a camera on it, right?
Oh, she said.
Only one to survive because people have been passing by.
Everybody's been walking by.
Her Pip-Boy doesn't have like a camera function or anything like that on it. Right?
Nope, Pip-Boys do not have cameras.
Now,
Which is really weird.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's kind of
At least not that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Although there is one game where they show pictures being stored on the Pip-Boy, but I'm not sure how exactly that's supposed to work, other than maybe you scanned it in somehow.
So where's Percy?
Percy is with you, I would assume.
Okay, well he'd be able to take like...
Spectral analysis, madam. I am picking up an odd amount of radiation.
Radiation?
Radiation, the like which I've only seen a couple of times before. It's in the end band.
So like the Z radiation?
Nope.
No? Oh,
Nope. Stealth boys.
Somebody uses Stealth Boy. And they had huge footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it look like it's barefoot or a boot print?
It is barefoot.
Naked?
Maybe.
Oh no.
Well, what the hell did Rock share?
Well, ma'am, perhaps we should start investigating.
Okay, well, obviously. Let's go get the sheriff and let him know, and then, Darian, would you mind going to the sheriff and letting him know the place has been robbed, and I'll see if I can take a...
I'm not fired?
Well, if you don't go get the sheriff, no, you won't be fired, so
Thank
go
you,
get the
ma'am.
sheriff.
He takes off. And I try and present him. He's like, young,
Mm-hmm.
about to be pubescent kid. So
Well, like, shit happens. It's not she's
And you
not
lost
him.
with you.
he runs good to the sheriff. Matthew,
Yeah.
what's Bert's normal morning routine?
Grumble, grumble, coffee, coffee. Less grumbling, more coffee. Not nearly as grumbly. Light a cigar. Now
So you're in the middle of your coffee and cigar when this very hectic, sweaty boy runs in, who you recognize as being one of Veronica's. Sheriff, it's terrible. Veronica needs you.
Okay, you don't know what's wrong yet.
Hurry!
Oh my goodness.
All right. This is one of her hired help, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And he is the one with the crush, correct?
You said crush. I never said he had a crush.
That's not the
Which one has the
crush.
crush? Oh, that's the pretty boy.
Some,
Okay,
I
yeah,
have the
alright.
names written down here.
But
Yeah,
this,
that was
no, this is the
Kermit.
one. This
He
is
does
the-
not work for her, but is in town still.
Yeah. No, this is the one that just basically follows around like a whip puppy. All right. Gets paid for it. Take a breath. Calm down. Slide this over. Have we got our faculties together now?
He says he's actually hitting his tongue from the foul alcohol. Store was robbed. Oh God! He needs your help.
See, this is the reason why you need to get a straight story out, because I was ready to go out and start shooting people.
A pair of deputies, I imagine, were there from overnight. Go. You want me to stick around?
Yeah, come on. Why don't you follow me? Why don't you stay here?
Right.
Oh, and somebody get on the horn there and call the assistant sheriff here.
Okay. Other deputies are obviously filtering in for their morning rounds and all that kind of stuff. I imagine probably since we had about 20 deputies we had hired, had people constantly walking the town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Shift change is probably on board right now.
So you walk on down. You see Veronica standing outside her shop.
Well, she's probably inside taking a look around. Try not to disturb anything, but at least trying to see if she can find anything else. Aw.
Percy goes, "Constable! Constable!
It's too early in the morning for this. You, go
Constable, I need to file a report."
Go easy, Bert. Bert was watching his cartoons.
Daffy Duck never had days like this. Okay. Alright. Grab the boy again. You, go get me some more coffee.
Yes, sir.
Where's my flask? Alright. I step inside the store.
Looks like someone literally ripped the door off her stall. Veronica, being a trader, probably invested in a good door. She has a stall with concrete walls. There's no other damage, and everything is literally gone. You see a lot of muddy footprints coming in and out of the property, and all around the store there's like tracks just going everywhere.
Well, at least if there's no tracks outside, at least we got tracks inside.
We get tracks outside too, but they're all like muddied and jumbled up.
I know, so in here at least we got clear tracks from just...
No, they're all muddied up too. Give me your tracking roll, see if you can determine what happened.
Okay, you know what I'm trying to say, but alright.
You're looking for a set of clean prints. I got that. Yeah. There are none. There are so many prints on top of one another, it makes it impossible.
I don't know, for some reason I was in D&D 3rd edition mode today. Started to roll T20.
This is Savage Worlds. You roll a D6, roll a D6, roll a D6, roll a D6.
Alright, I got a 7.
So looking at the tracks, you're like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to get even a clean set because there's so many tracks on top of one another.
Mm-hmm.
But you notice that most of them are tracks from hard-holed shoes or boots. You look out and you realize the townspeople robbed Veronica.
Oh!
Someone ripped the door off the hinges. The only way to explain this many tracks is that people saw it happen, didn't stop it, and then whatever it was done, went in and picked her blind.
Oh, they're gonna be in so much trouble.
Veronica.
How are you going to prove who they are?
Oh, I just found out. I know a way. Veronica, do you have a inventory list of everything you had in here?
Yep.
Do you have the makers and the serial numbers?
For stuff that didn't come from elsewhere yet?
Okay.
I imagine she would keep very detailed records of everything.
Do you have a camera in here?
No.
No. Unfortunately, that was a little outside my price range, though I was saving up for it.
Well, guess what? It would have saved you a lot of money right now.
No kidding.
Because what I'm going to have to do is very cautiously and very carefully and somewhat halfway off the books investigate and try to find everything that you have an inventory number for and a serial number for and find out who has it.
What do you mean?
Well, because the town robbed you blind.
They did what?
You see, whatever Bigfoot...
Let's not think the worst of people, says Percy.
Percy, shut up. After Bigfoot here ripped off your door and took whatever he was after, the rest of the town just kind of moseyed on in and proceeded to basically pick you clean.
After everything I've done for this town, and this is how they pay me back?
Yeah, pretty much. Welcome to civilization. Anyway, so I'm going to have to basically have my deputies keep an eyeball out and find, and whenever they see something that's on your list, discreetly check it out and see what the serial number is, and if it matches yours, well, then we arrest them for grand theft. Because until I actually figure out who the ringleader was in this little crowd, which of course there isn't, but I'm going to use that as a club to get everybody else to confess and turn on everybody else. But what they don't know, great thing about the law, I'm a cop, I'm allowed to lie.
Yeah.
I'll round up as much of your stock back as I can, as well as hopefully get a witness as to what Bigfoot ripped off your door here.
Yeah, because
There's gotta be a witness somewhere.
Exactly. The only way to get a witness is to basically track down the stock. Nobody's going to confess to see anything because that would put them on the scene. And then I'm going to have to ask them, well, why did you stop the robbery and report it? You see, they're not. Nobody's going to talk unless I can make them talk. And the only way to make them talk is to basically make them risk jail time. And they don't want to go to jail for for years. They're going to have to talk.
Yep.
Plus, you just ripped off one of the town heroes, which will not make them popular in certain circles. Remember, she helped blow up the cannon. She helped save the town, and they just robbed her store. That's like beating up on a homeless vet.
And don't forget, a lot of people in town go to church.
Exactly.
Oh, we can get the preacher to lay on some guilt there, hopefully.
Oh yeah, and you'll be talked to next.
I'm so proud you guys are starting to think like a small town group. Yes, this is exactly how this should be done. All right, so Matthew, what's your first thing to go looking out for this stuff? Just put the deputies on slow, passive eyeball?
Yeah, basically hand out a list to every single one of the deputies, including Shin. Especially her, because well, being Asian, people tend to ignore her. And actually, I want to use that to her advantage.
Okay.
She'll overhear things and see things because people just kind of don't want to act like she's there. They want to ignore her.
And that was Shiro, not Shin.
That's sure. Thank you. My bad. I'm still getting. You know how I am with names of real people, much less these games. But then I will go meet the good father and let him know what's going on.
All right, so you want to accompany Matthew to go talk to the father, or are you going to do something else?
Let's see. What would be the possibilities of the townspeople having traded some of those goods out with one of the other traders?
Well, if I wanted to move stolen goods, I don't know that I'd be stupid enough to move them in the same town, but then again, I'm also more intelligent than the average villain.
Yes, most criminals are actually dumb rock stupid. I mean, I've talked to enough cops to know that. I mean, I've talked to plenty of deputies and cops, and I'll tell you, they'll tell you, most of these people are
So,
dumb.
things you could start doing. You could start looking...
You could go to the traders.
Any of the alcohol might be sold at Neruda's.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Narudir's. Any of the foodstuffs might be actually sold through the saloons. Or the groceries. Brad's General Goods might have some of your stuff. Carl's Army might have some of the weaponry.
You need to do that, because if I send a deputy
There's
to
a
do it,
pawn
they'll
store.
tip everybody off.
Mariah's Pawn Store might have some of it.
So she'll go. I mean, she doesn't have to necessarily buy anything. If they traded it, they'll have it on the shelf, so she can just check the serial numbers and stuff like that on the shelves.
Yeah, if I send a deputies to do that, they'll tip everybody off, and that stuff will just scatter to the four winds.
Yeah, so she'll go start checking out the trader shops and just kind of browse around. She'll probably buy like one or two things from each place, so it's not like obvious.
Do you have Streetwise?
No.
Do you have Streetwise?
Yes.
Roll your Streetwise. Since the topic of where this has come up, I'm going to see if an idea occurs to you guys. Where would be the best place to move stolen goods in Brightwater? Would be the next question.
I wouldn't know, I'll be honest.
Ah, crap. Only got 3.
Okay.
They roll smarts. Straight
Sure.
roll smarts.
You roll straight smarts. Neg 2. I'm going to subtract 2 from your wild die as well.
Oh, shoot. For some reason, I rolled my vigor, my spirit. And hold on.
Okay.
I have to roll a d8 for that, sorry. Yeah, I still didn't do very well. I only got an 8.
I think it's enough.
Oh, never mind.
Why sell it in town where it's likely to get caught? Sell it out in the placards or the stocks, where there's a bunch of people who are desperate, who aren't going to ask too many questions and probably pay you higher and keep it secret they bought it.
Okay.
True. So
You know, I don't have to use the deputies for that. I can use a couple of the cowhands for that.
Someone go looking for someone, hey, I'm looking to buy this.
Mm-hmm.
See who has it.
Yeah, okay.
So now you recruit somebody into your scheme.
Well, basically, thankfully, due to my, actions on behalf of the Connies, I'm owed some favors. And I'm going to call in a couple.
Okay. I'm going to say that the 2 guys that show up to make good, their names are Bubba Ryan and a guy we just called Bull.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they're like, what you need, Sheriff?
Well, a good friend of mine lady who helped blow up the cannon, and also helped destroy all those raiders that were basically robbing us blind, has now been robbed blind by the townsfolk, which I'm sure did you pink. However, since she is, after all, a friend of ours who's done us all a great deal of favors, I think we owe her, don't you?
What exactly do you want us to do, Sheriff?
Well, her stock is missing, and it's probably been scattered to the four winds, but if you were going to move it, you'd move it out here.
At least all of it's portable, yeah.
Yeah. So here's a list of the serial numbers in the stock. Poke around. Try to find some stuff that cowpokes would actually look for.
Take about a day.
Give me the names, and then I'll deal with it.
All right, take about a day. We'll meet you later tonight.
All right?
Okay.
Now I'll go see the good father.
Okay. And then, Father, I felt so bad. I told my husband he was a drunk while he was drinking. I'm a terrible wife.
Where's my coffee?
I've been willful.
Good afternoon, Bert.
I drive him to it.
You're busy.
Hmm?
You're busy.
I just put in the candles.
Grant me absolution, please. I got it, Father, says your deputy.
I can just see the lady sitting there crying as he's just walking and lighting the candles, and she's just standing there crying and following him around.
Frontier spirituality, I tell you.
To me, I'm just going, where's my coffee? Looking up at the heavens. Father, Veronica's been robbed.
What was stolen?
Everything. Our store's been cleaned out. The door was ripped off by a Bigfoot, but, you know, I don't really think that, probably by some mutant, but, you know, that's kind of, well, I'm going to leave that to the Army because, you know, I've seen those things shuck off fucking 50 cals. But, let's just say that I'm pretty sure most of the stock was stolen by the town and been, well, hoarded, sold, traded out. And I want you to make the town feel really fucking guilty. Because after all, hey, she's a friend. She saved your life more than once. Okay, we saved her life more than once. But point is that we saved each other's lives. She has saved this town. She has saved everybody's ass in this town. And they robbed blind. I don't know about you, but I think that qualifies as a really honking huge mortal sin.
Man, Bert, you don't have to gild the lily. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I got
Oh yeah. I want you to gild it though. These are rural folk. You know, you need to.
Well, you're gilding it. I get it. I'm going to do it. However, I would also suggest giving this to old Marisol. She's always got her little birds around. She might know something.
Now, she was the next stop because I wanted to talk to her about something else anyway. But yeah.
What is it besides just little bric-a-brac that the townsfolk would be interested in? And not because they were looking for it, because, well, there was an opportunity, they took it. They weren't planning to go into that store and rip anything off, but there it was. What was in there that of any specific value or utility that...
Well, Veronica's a general trader, so you're looking at lots of general goods.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
You didn't have anything in there that was...
She wouldn't have kept anything particularly special there. She would have had something, like, if it was anything specific, like,
Right.
really special, she'd keep it really locked down somewhere really
Right.
secure.
Unless, of course, it was something that was just on the surface very mundane, but actually contained something that was very valuable or something like that. I don't know, who knows?
Either that or just very important to the mutant. You could just been a personal item you want it back for all we know. That's the thing. Mutants aren't exactly sane, so.
They've seen us.
I mean, for all we know, could have been a fucking baseball card.
Saw a
Mickey
paper clip
Mantle,
and got assessed
36.
about it. Who knows?
Okay, so I will,
God, I would love to come
I'll lay it on a little extra thick
Oh yeah,
this week.
really turn on the guilt. All right, I'm gonna talk to Marisol because I did want to talk to her about giving the mayor a little slack in dealing with the rich folks because he's making my job a lot easier by doing it the way he's doing. So, yeah, that if she could lay off that just a little bit. I don't mind her doing the politics because that's just who she is.
You take anyone with you?
Nah, I want this to be just her.
So you make the climb up the lonely stair by yourself. Give me a bigger roll. It is a climb up a steep hill.
Hell, I didn't figure roll for it. That's the size of my roll even more. Hell, I ran it, not had to roll.
The weight of the taxes this time.
Ooh,
Jesus. Great.
So you get up to the top of the hill. You're a little winded. The door opens.
I'm being a dick today.
You see a red air light on air as Marisol's sitting there going, "So, Wastelanders and Brightwaterians, as well as all you out there in the placards and the stocks, keep your head up and whatever you do, don't listen to that other radio station. It just clouds the mind and confuses the issue with things that sound grand and meaningful but are in fact drivel and drug-addled hallucinations. For your dose of clarity and sagacity, please keep your soul pure here on Only Lonely Radio. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a little Ray Charles." Oh, mama, how you shake that thing. She looks up at you. She turns the on-air light off. She's like, "Yes, what can I do for you?"
One of these days I'm going to try and find out where you get all this stuff.
The Modocs. You know that the Modoc people are a small tribe inside, well, they used to live in Detroit. Now they live in Lansing. They actually took all the old music collections when the fall happened and made it a point to preserve all that shit. Their culture has evolved so they believe that music's actually a form of God talking to you.
Is this in a Fallout War?
No, this is something I made up.
Oh, nice.
Modoc, short for Motown Doctor.
Yeah,
And so they've preserved all this like old stuff that they're trying to keep.
Oh, Bert probably wouldn't know that.
So, well, they're pretty famous.
Oh, okay.
You recognize Modoc. He looks like he has soul.
Dressed in a leisure suit and has platform
It
heels.
looks like Huggy Bear.
I was thinking more like a three-piece suit and like Ray Charles black glasses.
I was thinking Huggy Bear from,
Yeah, that's
Starsky
exactly
and
what
Hutch.
I was thinking. I was Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch.
So what do you do?
Well,
keep it politic.
yeah, I got two things I need to discuss with you. Well, Veronica's been ripped off. I mean, cleaned out. Some mutant Bigfoot thing came over and ripped off her door, looking for God knows what.
The people rose up against a capitalist system that holds them down. I'm shocked. No, she says that with a smile on her face. She's joking.
Well, considering that Veronica's a capitalist pig, maybe you don't want to help her, but after all... But
Of course I'll help Veronica. Do you have any leads on who the people were that fell into temptation?
yeah, well, this is something that is kind of, not too surprising, but on the other hand, I am kind of pissed because this is a personal friend of mine, and she kind of saved her asses, so I'm kind of thinking of them as being very
I'm pissed too. If we can't trust one another, we can't live together. I'll be more than happy to help.
Oh, yeah, okay. And the other thing is I'm not asking you to lay off completely because, well, that's just not you, and frankly, it's a lot of fun to listen to. But could you lay off the mayor a little bit about talking to these rich folks because they're being pains in my ass, and he's covering for me?
I will lay off the mayor talking to rich folks when he starts talking to the rest of us as well.
Actually, he is talking to the rest of them, but
Funny, I haven't had an appointment met in almost 2 months.
well, that's because the two of you hate each other, and he frankly likes poking at you.
You get one of my reporters in an interview, and I will treat Horace Greenlee.
Like I said, don't treat him fairly.
I feel I'm treating him fairly. I will treat him with a bit more civility. How's that?
Okay, I'll see what I can do. I'm not making any promises because, well, he can be a bit of a dick. But he is making my job a little easier, so I'm just trying to cover my own ass here.
Funny how the second it's your job and it's like your morality can get compromised.
It's not even my morality, it's my sanity I'm worried about.
I heard that. You know, there's some bourbon up there on the shelf.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been looking for an excuse to drink it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I like where this is going.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
she pour bourbon for both of you?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Bert's not expecting to die of old age. He's going to take every opportunity he can to enjoy life. He's not even going to roll to try and resist this.
Oh, okay. Well, with an 11, she starts the process of seduction. You're going to let her?
Yeah, I don't mind. Like I said, Bert has no illusions about living to die of old age.
Okay.
Not his occupation.
I need a vigor roll.
And that one went with flying colors, 12.
Holy shit. Wow.
The two of you begin the act, and halfway through the act, she stops moving. And you get a little scared and she realizes that she is breathing. You've caused her to pass out. She failed her vigor check.
Wow.
For about, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes, you're alone and awake in her Radio Shack. Do you do anything what she wouldn't know about?
Well, no, I'm not going to break her trust because that would just completely ruin any chance of making her an ally. But I will try and keep the music going.
She's already got that set on the loop.
Okay, so I'm not, then otherwise I'm just basically going to make sure she's comfortable.
Okay. She wakes up and realizes, what must have transpired. She's like, well, such a gentleman. And proceeds to show you her appreciation. We'll phrase it that way. Okay.
Yes, Bert's a dog, but he's an honest dog.
The rest of that day travels pretty...
What the hell is this?
Oh, excuse me.
Damn.
The rest-
right at the back of the neck.
The rest of that day travels along pretty uneventfully, like you would expect. People go about their town business. You find no other leads because you're going about it in kind of a passive way.
Well, yeah, I don't want to shake anything up because then I'll just lose it all.
There is one dispute in a card game in one of the saloons, but it's quickly broken up by the deputies. And people start filtering into the evening spots for evening meals and stuff before they go to bed and have kind of like, their evening party, as tomorrow is Sunday. So kind of a sort of pseudo...
Holiday?
I don't want to say pseudo-holiday. Sort of a pseudo-Caribbean attitude has begun to evolve in Brightwater of since we have to go to church on Sunday morning. We might as well have made it worth it on Saturday night.
Yep, busy night of the week.
So people are out drinking, people are out doing their thing, people are out being people. And I need to know what y'all are doing that night.
I imagine Veronica's probably doing repairs on her store.
So all these people are walking by arm in arm, getting some and getting drunk. And you're sitting there welding a door.
Yeah.
Person goes, Mom, as I'm not necessarily someone who needs companionship, why don't you let me complete the repairs on the door, and you go enjoy yourself. Drink away your sorrows, as it were.
There's way too much work that needs to be done, because not only does the shop need to be...
Mom, I don't sleep, I have 3 hands, and I can fly. Need I remind you I also have... His hands go like those weird multi-tools he's been given. Various tool sets to complete this labor.
I'm not even talking about just the repairs of the shop. There's also new inventory lists that need to be made. We need to make new...
I make billions of calculations a second, Mom.
You know what's going to happen. You're trying
Go.
to dodge it the best you can.
Church squares away. I go help Veronica out with the labor.
So you get there, you see an argument between her and Percy. Percy's trying to get her to go out and have fun, because for the past 2 weeks she's not gone out and have fun.
Veronica, go out and have fun. I'll help them out.
I'm probably just going to be sitting in the saloon drinking and like coming up with lists in my head.
Get a drink. Do your list.
I'm just not going to win with either one of you, am I?
No.
No.
Fine, I'll be gone for like an
The
hour.
choo-choo train
tops.
is rolling. Go.
An hour tops, and then coming...
You can't keep Veronica away from the V, man. See, it's already sticking.
So, Ronnie, you find yourself in a saloon,
Yeah,
cursing your robot.
yeah. Well, not really, but annoyed. She
Yeah,
never
she would
cursed
be-
Percy. She just...
She wouldn't curse the love of her life.
Akani, who's made it a point that the first thing he did when he came into town was get a bath and a shave and some clean shirts, comes over to you and goes, "Hi, aren't you Veronica Rose?"
Yes, I am.
Shit.
Well, you're even more lovely in person than I've heard on the radio.
Uh-oh.
He's trying to mac on her.
Uh huh. Oh.
And he's good at it.
Oh shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think she's getting out of that.
Oh shit. With a 22,
Holy Jesus.
he gives you that debonair smile picture, like, I don't know, Sam Elliott in his younger years or something.
Ooh.
Comes up to you and he's just like, so,
Hell, some
Not to, like-
older years is still
not to like
pretty
send
damn
myself into your evening or pry into your space, but you look like you could use a friendly ear, someone to vent to. Been told I'm a good listener.
I've definitely had a hell of a day, that's for sure.
He sits down at your table.
Hell, Sam Elliott in his older days was nothing to sneeze at.
Passes you a drink.
It's the wrong way, but Sam Elliott.
Did she see the drink get poured? Because I mean, obviously she's already going to be on the
doing?
watch out for.
According to what?
Well, that would be a bigger rule then, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
but you still have my combo.
No, like he passes her a drink,
Right.
so she just, it's not
Thank you.
like,
That was empty bag.
oh,
No.
just wait till they're done talking.
Yeah, because I can't hear you because they're not whispering. Right, so no, you weren't.
Matt, bring me a Pepsi, please.
You guys' voices are just loud in the Carrie's area.
He slides the bourbon over.
A bourbon that she saw poured, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was checking on. Like,
No, he's not
some
going to.
sneaky, yeah, you never know in the Fallout universe with all the crazy stuff.
I'm speaking in low tone. Why is that?
Did you open it for me? With your teeth?
So he passes her a bourbon. I guess she'd probably accept it.
Okay. And he sits down. He starts drinking too as he's talking, as you're all talking.
You can figure out how to do that.
Okay.
So there's a conversation going on here. What do you want to talk about to him?
So I imagine she'd probably talk about what's going on in mine and say, yeah, my shop got robbed.
Give me a venting about the shop getting robbed.
What? Like, role play it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, woke up this morning to my assistant letting me know that the shop got completely robbed. Everything completely picked clean. Somebody had apparently tore the door off. And all that. Which now we're working on getting that fixed. Now I gotta get everything replaced and taken care of and all that. And you know, I didn't necessarily realize it would be this hard to set up a caravan type deal and whatnot. But I know it's what I want to do with myself. But dadgummit, if you got people who are gonna be robbing left, right, and center.
She actually said,
Have another bourbon.
Oh, dang, now it's sorry.
It's not like the second bourbon. Now I definitely get a bigger roll.
Yeah, I gotta think it back. I think
Oh,
I don't think
hell,
I've
she
heard
only got
Veronica
three.
use more than we have to use in 4 little words.
So before Veronica realized it, she's raging. He is a good listener. He's like, oh, that's terrible. Yeah, oh, that's horrible. You know, the whole thing you'd expect. And before long, she's feeling kind of a camaraderie with him. She's feeling a rapport, right? And then at some point during the conversation, she actually finds herself touching his arm without herself realizing it. He puts his
Okay.
hand on her hand. I need a spirit roll.
Alright,
Uh-oh.
let's go upstairs and get laid.
Go on there, cut. Go on there, cut.
Sex.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what that
Don't
was.
eat that, dog.
Okay, so I know I've said this multiple times, but you see this little box I have that I roll my dice in?
Well, yeah, but it's all the way over there.
I'm saying get your own. There's like one right here. You could like open that up and roll in.
James is a trip, man.
Well, I got an 11.
11?
Yep.
Okay.
Use the term as a kicker.
Ah! Lucky. Yeah, nowhere near enough. He tries to proposition her to go upstairs. He does it in a very civil, adroit, and deft manner, but you don't have to take it if you don't want to. He didn't succeed.
I imagine with her being like all concerned about what happened to the shop, she's probably not inclined.
Understood. That's why I said you don't have to succeed. Okay, so you want to politely decline him then?
Yeah, just say like, it's really sweet of you and whatnot. It's just, I want to get my shop back up and running. That's going to take up way too much of my time here right now.
No problem. I understand. You're concerned. You've got your own names. That's all right. Well, I'll be in town occasionally. My name is
Sam.
no.
James Bond.
My name is Kurt Rousseau.
Seriously? I got Kermit as a love interest and now Kurt?
Kurt Rousseau.
Rousseau.
It's French. Therefore, no copyright infringement.
He looks like Sam Elliott. His name is Kurt Russell.
He gives you a kiss on the hand, and he takes off, and you don't hear him grumbling, buy her 4 drinks, and then get a little kiss on the leg, son of a bitch, a little tight.
All it needs to sound like the third actor, and we got a full trio here.
While Veronica's getting sauced, you and Percy are fixing the shop. And Percy's right. With his mechanical body, he can do this like that on his
Well,
own.
I'm also just for shits and giggles looking for clues.
Okay.
See if
Give
I
me
might
a
know
notice roll.
That would be,
More water, please.
die 6.
And remember your wild die as well.
That's my wild die.
Son of a biscuit.
Come on, Father Santiago.
I hate summer.
So you're looking through the scene, and it's dark and stuff, so you don't really see anything that gives you any more clues than what Bert or the others got. You do, however, notice one. Excuse me. One thing that they may have missed. There's a bit of black thread caught on one of the shelves. And it's like dark black, like someone freshly dyed it, or it comes from a high quality garment.
And you whip off your sunglasses. Look at the camera.
I go up to it and look at it further. Closer scrutiny. Can. Just black thread.
Need another notice check.
Four.
Don't do that to your dice, though. Screw you over. You need to go out and find a small furry animal and sacrifice it.
Tuffy.
Oh, hell no.
Okay, so
No, she's too big. Use the cat.
the good father's oblivious as someone sneaks up behind him. He has time to hear Percy say, "Father!" Oh, and then someone clonks you on the back of the head.
Fuck. Son of a bitch.
Ooh. What is your toughness?
He's pretty tough.
Without your armor, because it's straight to your actual toughness. I believe you have a 5?
6.
You have a 6. So with a raise, okay, you are going to give me a vigor check. The vigor check is going to be a base roll of 10 to keep from being knocked out.
Okay. Here's my D10. I love these dice. Oh, come on, baby.
That's not a 10, that's a 12-sided. You
Oh,
have a
that's
12 you have a
12?
D12 for vigor? I don't think so.
Oh, shit.
What's your vigor?
6.
So you're rolling a die 6,
Right.
and your wild die, trying to beat a 10.
Ugh.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You can spend chips for this, but nope, you didn't.
Can I roll 4 one more?
Nope.
One more
Boom!
time.
Priest is out. He hits the ground. He doesn't hear what happens next.
Oh, yay.
It's okay. He doesn't mean it.
Veronica comes back to town to the shouts of "Fire! Fire!"
Jesus
Fire.
Christ.
It's a concrete block house.
Okay.
Yeah, but that jet that Percy has fires essentially napalm. It's a gel that comes out of that fire flamethrower he has. So if he used it, there would be a fire sitting there burning.
She would look to see if there's. I mean, she's slightly inebriated, so she's probably not thinking quite logically. So she'd probably look up to the sky, see if there's a plume of smoke somewhere.
You don't see any smoke, but you do see some glowing light off by your shop.
Well, then she's hightailing it over there, stumbling a little bit.
You get over there, and there is a fire raging in your store. It looks
Oh,
like
hell.
it looks like since you've seen the flamethrower go off before, that Percy's flamethrower was used. And all against one wall, you see this wall burning as the gel is burning there.
Oh,
And there's
wow.
the good father laying on the floor unconscious.
Is he close to the fire?
There's not really anything left combustible in your shop, so if you worry about him getting damaged, you don't have to. But it is a concern that he is there unconscious.
Well, I'm saying how close he is.
You can go in there and get him out.
fire. That's what I'm trying to find. Okay, well, she'd probably drag him out and then.
Give me a strength check, drag him out of there.
Oh, I don't know.
Am I completely out?
Nope. Oh, yes, you're completely out. You're unconscious. You got buffaloed.
Yeah.
You got buffaloed, man.
She got 5.
No problem. So Veronica drags you out. You wake up to Rose slapping you in the
Now,
face.
she'd probably kick him a couple times and grab the fire extinguisher or something and try to put out the fire.
Okay.
It's like, hey, wake up! And then, like, stagger inside and be like... And then she'd be like, where's Percy?
Am I up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I groggy? Am I?
You're groggy. You got hit over the back of the head. You got buffaloed. Yeah, it does not feel good.
You have a concussion, dude.
I go grab that thread.
Okay. You find the thread.
Alright.
Father, do you want me to turn this extinguisher on you? Where is Percy?
Evidence. All right, I move out of her way. She doesn't know what I'm looking at, so I'm out of her way.
He's not being cooperative. He's not helping.
She's getting
Spirit roll to keep from cursing him out.
What do you mean? I am helping.
Not the way she's thinking right now. Remember, she's inebriated.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she's not exactly firing on all cylinders at this point. Not that Veronica ever really is, but.
Okay, 11, 14.
You manage through the drunken haze and the rage to realize that he is doing something important. You're just not sure what. Your character writes off as maybe he didn't actually hear you. So she doesn't get mad at him and waylay him too. Fires out. The wall is scorched. Sure enough, it is from Percy's flamethrower. What do you guys do? There are now a bunch of people in the street looking. That's all they're doing, but they're looking.
Hey, you assholes! Are you gonna help out? Or are you just gonna stand there and gawk like you did when I got robbed?
Help out with what? The fire's out.
Oh yeah, with no help from you.
Where's
Where's Percy? Has anybody seen Percy?
I don't know why this person came back here just to knock me out, or they were coming back to look for something, and I happened to be there.
Wait, somebody knocked you out?
I'm assuming.
Do you have a medicine skill?
No.
You do see a large knot forming over the back of his head. Looks about the size of a pistol
good. You
butt.
should probably get that looked at. Oh, wait, you're the only doctor around here, aren't you?
No, he's not the only doctor in town. There's another doctor.
Oh, wait, there's another one? Yeah, you should
I look
get that
around to
looked
see
at.
if there's. Ah, God.
Well, this time there are less people walking around, so you actually have a trail.
That's what I mean. I'm looking for a.
You've got a pair of human-sized footprints. They are trailing away from Veronica's place out into the street, and they go into an alley.
I follow it.
Okay?
She follows him.
Okay, without waiting for backup.
Yeah, nobody's gotten me yet.
Not a problem.
Up there?
She's inebriated.
No,
She's
I'm
not
the sheriff.
thinking very
I
clearly.
understand. Go ahead and make notice rolls for
I
me.
thought you were banging the Marisol.
No,
That happened earlier in the
afternoon.
day. This is late in the evening.
Yeah. We probably had the shift change by this point.
What am I
She was
rolling
on
for?
duty.
Notice roll.
Notice.
Following the trail in the dark.
Oh, definitely not.
And you, Mr. Father Santiago?
What am I rolling?
Your notice?
Notice.
You
And
got
you are
me.
No.
This is what my character's good at.
So it's a die 6 plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a 4 again, fuckstick.
You don't find the trail either. You follow the trail into the alley,
I'm
and then
gonna
between
keep
the
doing
dark and the mud conditions of the alley, you've lost it. It disappears somewhere into the tent city, right behind the theater.
Told you. You
Okay.
keep pissing off your dice, they're gonna keep pissing you off.
God damn it.
At that point,
Yeah,
Veronica's
this is
getting
fucking
really,
shit.
really concerned because she
You
can't
gotta
find
switch 'em out.
Percy. So she's gonna go
No, I'm
stagger
gonna
up
keep
the.
rolling.
I need the sheriff. Where's the sheriff?
Something large grabs you both by the neck and lifts you up into the middle of the air. In front of you, there is a haze, and you feel this pressure on your throats. Give me vigor.
And you're both gonna die. Because you didn't get the sheriff.
10.
You're still awake.
7.
You pass out.
Okay.
Veronica goes limp. You're worried she might be dead. You can't tell right now.
Okay.
The thing becomes visible for a second. It is an 11-foot tall humanoid creature with gray skin. Hands as wide as like half your chest wrapped around your throat. And looks at you and goes, "If you want the shiny metal toy back, bring Etta Mae Browning out to Galt's Gulch." I'm sorry, I used a Anne Ryan reference there for a second. Bring Etta Mae Browning out to where the red razor grass grows. And then he crushes you just enough to make you pass out and drops you both on the ground.
Wow. That's
Oh,
pretty
boy.
intense.
Yeah.
Bert,
Yep.
deputies come get you. Go, we got a situation.
Alright.
I want to start, boss, with they aren't dead, but they're mighty pissed.
No. Veronica's gonna be.
We've had to
alright.
handcuff Miss Rose. She kept trying to go off into the darkness looking for, quote, her baby.
Somebody
And
stole Percy,
we-
didn't they?
Yes, sir. And we were tempted to gag her because the things coming out of her mouth are just not conducive to being a good neighbor. She
Well-
is saying some very disparaging things about the ancestry, character, and mental abilities of her local Brightwater residents.
Uh-oh.
Considering they ripped off her store, I can't blame her.
Yeah.
Fair?
Considering they ripped off her store, I'm not feeling very generous
Oh,
either.
yeah.
Alright, Shira, let's go look at this.
All right, so you get there. You see her actually in handcuffs,
Looking real mighty pissed.
And the sheriffs have had to handcuff her hands behind her back and her ankles together to keep control of her as she has tried to leave town 3 or 4 times.
Look at Shira and go.
She's finally at the point where she has vented enough of her anger at the local crowd, which is all watching this, that there's no danger of them being furtherly offended. So she's kind of like, just sitting there fuming.
I look over at Shira and go, you want to take a camera and photograph this?
I don't have a camera, boss. I don't make that much money.
Has anybody got a camera?
No.